Hi, I'm Kim, and you're watching Kim Wilson TV. My channel is dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse get free and stay free. Recently, I was at someone else's channel, and throughout the video, this presenter is saying, you need to leave the narcissist, you need to get out of there, run and run like you're being chased by the devil. Pretty much what everybody says. And under it, in the thread, there is a comment saying, yeah, that's right, you got to get out of there. Well, below that comment was a reply that said something along the lines of, well, that's easy for you to say. Some of us have issues. Some of us are too weak to leave. I'll tell you, that comment really stuck with me, and I want to talk about that today. I guess my first thought was, if you are considering yourself to be in a gravely weakened situation, as I most certainly was, between the humiliation, the cheating, the lying, the gaslighting, the hot, the cold, the eggshells, all the bullshit nonsense that comes with being involved with a narcissist, yes, I suppose we would consider ourselves to be in a weakened, dilapidated, emotional, spiritual, mental state. But consider what it takes to stay. Consider what it takes to continue loving them above and beyond all of that, to continue trying, to put your own needs second, to just try to prove, that you're loyal, that you love them, that you want to love them well, that you're there for them, that you want to be a support network for them. We know they're damaged goods, but despite that, we fight on to try and not just save the relationship. And it's not just about finding or rediscovering that initial person we fell in love with. We, in time, accept them as gravely damaged goods, and despite that, try our best to love them well and foster and nurture the relationship. I don't necessarily feel like I see that as weakness. That seems to me to show a tremendous amount of courage and perseverance and just, great amount of humanity to try and love someone that you care about well, despite all the horrible things they're doing to you. I don't know that I see that as weakness. Now, looking back in retrospect, I've been back in my own home here for 9 months. It took a 7-month exit strategy to get out because money was an issue. I was relocating to another province. I had had my home rented out for some time, and my God, was the house in bad, bad shape. So I did definitely have some obstacles, and day by day, slowly inch by inch, I worked my way through those obstacles and got into my own home. Now I'm very comfortable, very happy, and when I look back in retrospect, the easiest part of the entire relationship was planning my exit strategy. I didn't race at it. I didn't put unrealistic demands on myself. Some days I was extremely proactive, and some days I was very incapacitated. But day by day, I met that challenge. And now in my own home, I look back and think, holy shit, what was I afraid of? What was I worried about? I think that we remove ourselves so far from loving ourselves because they become so high demand, so needy, so absolutely all-consuming that we forget, that we have the strength. Waking up beside them every day is an absolute testimony to our personal strength and perseverance and determination. I guess now in retrospect, I see the exit strategy and leaving as truly the easiest part, because being there was absolute hell on earth. It was absolutely horrifying. I was constantly frightened, constantly shaken, constantly unsettled, constantly mind-fucked beyond belief. I couldn't think straight. It was a fucking crisis. It was an absolute personal crisis, and I was under attack steadily. Now, in my own home, I got none of that. I've got none of that. And I'll tell you, getting through a day now is a hell of a lot easier than it was then. I think empaths are very, very slow to assess a situation and to put an absolute judgment on another person. I think instinctively we want to believe the best of everyone. Instinctively, we want to believe that every situation comes with a certain level of hopefulness and possibilities. But I think the proof that we can leave very successfully and go on to have very wonderful lives. I think the proof is that we stayed in the first place, that we stayed for any amount of time. I know after 12 months, 18 months, even 6 months, some targets, victims, survivors just wake up and they run. And I know for others, it's been 20, 30 plus years. But whether you did it for a day, a week, a month, or 20 years, the fact that you had the strength to tolerate that, I think is all telling of our possibilities, our capabilities, our ability to get the fuck out of there and move on. I think that is the proof. And if you're still in it, the fact that you're there is the proof that you have the strength to leave. You know, I really understand your desire for some closure when you leave, but you're not getting it. I really understand your need, like a soul-felt need, to have that rotten narc look you in the eye and say, you know what, I'm sorry, I treated you horribly. But no, that's not coming either. I mean, and I see all those needs, like that need to be validated, that need to be apologized to, that need to have your feelings, validated. I get all that, but it's never coming. It's just not coming. And if you're waiting around for that, all you're going to do is, well, further your ass kicking. That's going to be it. You're not looking like a loyal person to the narcissist. You're not looking like someone who loves them. They're not interested in whether or not you love them. They're only interested in how much abuse you're going to be willing to take. And that, in the end, ultimately comes down to what you decide for yourself. I think the fact that you're there now shows you absolutely, undeniably, that you are a strong and dedicated and determined individual. So I would have to say, that feeling of weakness just further proves that you absolutely have the strength to get out of there. And ultimately, who is telling you you're too weak to leave? Is it the narc? Is it that habitual pathological liar? They've never said an honest word to you to this point. So why would you believe them about your personal strength? And if it's you telling you that you don't have the strength to leave, you need to stop that. The narc is not your friend. They're setting flying monkeys up against you who are not your friend. If you are not going to be a good friend to yourself, well, fuck, you got nobody. You've got absolutely nobody. The proof for every empath that they have the strength to leave should be the fact that they stayed in the first place. You have the strength to leave. We all have the strength to leave. And if that strength is going to come from finding some inner anger, I'm going to tell you, I was incapacitated with sadness. I was absolutely I was wallowing in sadness, misery. It wasn't until I became angry and went, holy fuck, hang on a minute here, buddy. I didn't deserve any of this. I've been a good partner to you and you've been shitting on me since the day I met you. And I became angry about that. And it was ultimately that sort of fleeting anger that gave me that push, that shove that I needed to get my ass out of that horrible situation. You've got the strength to leave. Honest to God. If you've stayed one day, you've got the strength to leave. Anyways, that comment really worried me. And I just wonder, at what point does the narcissist stop keeping us trapped and we, in turn, trap ourselves there? I'm not setting myself up to be trapped anymore, and I hope you don't either. I'm Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV, and I'm wishing you guys a really happy narc-free day. Peace be with you, my friends.